Okay, so picture this. You've got a big old mix of different chemicals all jumbled together, and your job is to separate them. Sounds kind of impossible, right? But it turns out chemical engineers have this really elegant way of simplifying the whole thing, and it all boils down to one simple, powerful idea. And here's that idea. The secret is realizing that not everything in that mixture is equally important. Instead of getting bogged down trying to track every single little thing, you just have to focus on what really, truly counts. So first, let's just appreciate the challenge here. The starting point is to line up all your components based on their volatility, how easily they want to turn into a vapor. But if you have dozens of these things, trying to perfectly separate every single one is a massive headache. So what's the solution? What's the trick? Well, it's all about focusing on what we call the key components. Instead of trying to manage everything at once, the whole process gets way simpler by just zeroing in on the few things that are actually in charge of the separation. So what makes a component key? Well, pretty simply, it's one that we have a specific goal for. We're trying to recover a certain amount of it, and its properties are what tell us just how tricky or sharp this separation is going to be. These guys are the ones driving the whole design. Now, within this group of key players, two of them are the absolute stars of the show. The light key, we'll call it LK, and the heavy key, or HK. Seriously, everything revolves around them. Let's break down what they do. These two are complete opposites. The light key is the most volatile one of the bunch, so it turns to vapor super easily, rises all the way to the top of the column, and becomes what we call the distillate. Meanwhile, the heavy key, well, it's the least volatile. It would much rather stay a liquid, so it sinks down to the bottom and becomes the bottom's product. So the main thing to remember for the light key is that it's always on an upward journey. Because it vaporizes so easily, it just naturally wants to float up, leaving the heavier stuff behind. And for the heavy key, just think gravity. It's heavier, it's less volatile, so it just naturally settles down at the base of the column. Its journey is always downwards. Okay, but what about everything else in the mix? We call those the non-keys. And the great thing is, this supporting cast is incredibly predictable. They just follow the leaders. And their behavior makes perfect sense. The light non-key is even more volatile than our light key, so of course it's going to shoot straight to the top. No doubt about it. And the heavy non-key is even less volatile than our heavy key, so it's guaranteed to end up at the bottom. The most important part? We don't have to control them. They just go where their nature tells them to go. All right, let's zoom out and look at the big picture here. Why do we even bother with all these labels, keys, non-keys? The reason is actually pretty powerful. It's all about focus and making things manageable. And this right here is the ultimate payoff. By just identifying and focusing on how the light and heavy keys behave, engineers can design the entire complex distillation column. This one insight turns a totally overwhelming problem into something you can actually wrap your head around and solve. So that kind of leaves us with a fascinating thought, doesn't it? This whole idea of ignoring the noise and focusing only on the critical parts, that doesn't just apply to chemical engineering. I mean, think about it. From running a business to learning a new skill, where else do you see this powerful idea of simplifying complexity by finding the true key components?